More than that, we're talking to someone very, very special who happens to be a link mentor for the Hammers as well. And we're very honored and very lucky that he's in Pakistan right now. So obviously we discuss not only the model that we're seeing, but also the way to groom talent for future for Pakistan as well, as football becomes a very, very popular sport as well. I think all in that he's won prestigious awards as well, and he's a very popular guy, isn't he? But he's joining us right here in Pakistan on the scoreboard on Pakistan TV. Let's just take you straight to him. Joining us is Mr. Rashid Abba. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Well,
how are you?
I'm all right. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for joining us. And first of all, I'm sure you've enjoyed your time so far here. But I think our viewers are very, very excited. So first of all, we have to talk about the club itself as well. The Hammers have got a big history to themselves. How do you come in as part of them?
Yeah, obviously West Ham United are based in London. We've got London Stadium. It's got a lot of history around the East London, around the ironworks and the Thames Ironwork. That's where the Hammers came from. So it's got a lot of history. You mentioned earlier we've had Bobby Moore. We've had world-class players playing for England who won the World Cup in '96 as well. And we're Academy of Football as well, so we're producing a lot of local homegrown talent as well for the first team. But the community engagement is very, very powerful as well in terms of engaging community, engaging grassroots football, engaging with the recruitment, talent ID department at the academy, and the academy itself and the professional club.
So where does a link, Metro come in? Because this is something that we've always talked about in Pakistan, at least, that we need to connect on the grassroots level. So where do you come in?
Right, the academy link mentor role is very unique, and I'm the only one in the English Football League, in the professional club. I've got that role. So what that came about is for the last 35 years, I've been trying to engage South Asians in football. We're still lacking, we're still underrepresented in terms of the players coming through the system. And then the link is how I can link with the grassroots clubs to the professional club. And there's a big diaspora of communities. From in the UK, from
that's very diverse,
very, very diverse. So what we wanted to do, the adult football in UK from our South Asian communities, it's been going for 70, 100 years. But the youth football is where we start the talent from. So it's been about 15 years now. So there's a lot of grassroots club from South Asian clubs, and they're trying to encourage more participation. My role is to how can I connect with those community and be that visible role model, so I can help them get the players in the building, that's what we call, get the coaches, talented coaches in the building, and the scouts in the building. And I think it's building that, strengthening the links with the South Asian community. And the role is very unique, like I said, and the connection is there. Obviously, I mentor coaches as well, and I try to make sure that link, because if you think about talent ID, where are the players going to come from? They're going to come from the community grassroots. So we have to make sure we build relationship. They feel trusted. It's authentic relationship as well with them, because as you know, building a trust takes time.
Absolutely, a lot of these communities have been, a bit marginalized for many years. So they've got to develop that stuff. But a very important part of this, and congratulations to you on winning the Asian Award as well. I think that is also something spectacular. A lot of that has to do with the transformation. All of us have loved football. We've played in the streets, in our schools, in our colleges, in universities. One essential part is the transformation of any amateur player into the professional setup. Now, I think that's where the difference is made. How would you define that for any young player?
Yeah, so like I said, my role is creating pathways, creating positive pathways into the professional game. So we got to start making sure we connect with the grassroots club. Any talent we see, they get invited for the trials, and then we assess them, and we try to make sure they're up to the standard of what the boys in the academy are. Now, obviously, the football in England, the passion is very different. The football is started at 5, 6, 7, so they start very early because the research shows when they start playing when they come into the academy system at 9 years old, 50% of the boys make the transition into scholarship and a pro contract as well.
Number,
So we've got to get that pathway, identified, early intervention, and that's why my role is back in London, upskilling those coaches to work with younger age group and try to make sure that they upskill themselves as well. So we've got to make sure we provide coaching qualifications, FA coaching qualifications, for coaching football. We could do talent ID if they want to become talent spotters. So I think we have been represented for the last 35, 40 years. And what we're trying to do is we want to make sure there are going to be some players from those heritage playing for the national team here. But we got to make sure we get the homegrown talent first as well. So it complements as well. So from what I've seen for the last 10 days, and I've been to Lahore, Wazirabad, Sialkot, the capital of football, 70%, you know, Pakistan produces football, and yet we don't play professionally. It just doesn't add up. And then obviously Wazirabad, Mirpur. So this trip came about because we had Muslim Hands and Project Maidaan. They came to UK in 2025.
Absolutely.
And we were the first one to host. And that connection came from Premier League as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of knowledge sharing as well.
Yeah, so they came to me because obviously they know that that's my DNA, South Asians in football. And I was very impressed with the standard of the players, the staff, the coaches as well. So we built that relationship, a very strong relationship, and obviously they invited me here, and it's an official trip supported by West Ham United Football Club. So I've been very impressed with what they're doing now. I've been to their facilities, I've done a coach education for the grassroots coaches. I did some talent ID as well, and I've been into primary schools and secondary schools. I've seen the boys and the girls. So I think you mentioned about earlier, there's a big gap because if you don't have grassroots club, where is the pathway? If they don't get coaching at a young age, and if the coaches are not qualified, then we're going to have long term, we're not going to be producing players.
There's a very strange, I call it a strange scenario in Pakistan, because we've not been familiar with a good football infrastructure. Immediately now, when talent has been, a little bit of talent has been identified, everybody's jumped onto the bandwagon of, you know, let's get Pakistan their very own league of football. And they think that that will be the answer to that lack of infrastructure which we've had. What they fail to understand, which I've highlighted time and time again, that even for that league, you need homegrown talent.
Yeah.
So how would you see that drastic decision to, you know, just start a league and probably believe overnight we're going to join the Committee of Nations?
No, I think we've got to get the foundations right. I think we can't be talking about the roof. We don't, you know, yeah, we can have a showcase in a Pakistan Super League, but you're not going to have players from local because they're going to be foreign players. And you see that in different parts of the country. There's a lot of diaspora players playing for those countries because they want quick success. But long term, that's not a solution. We've got to get the foundation right. And I think it's important that they see opportunities. From my observation, going to all these cities, looking at the boys and the girls, I've seen most of the Street Child World Cup boys who've been on the camp in Wazirabad. Talent is there, opportunity is not there. So I think we got to make sure we go environment where we're going to nurture boys and girls, because football is diverse, football is evolving, but at the same time we've got to make sure we educate the coaches, because there's a lot of things have changed since the social media, since the technologies. So the coaching methods are very different.
The modules have changed.
Modules have changed. The modern practices, the modern language has changed as well, how you deliver. And I think from what I've seen, the coaches who came at Wazirabad, and I was impressed. The reason I was impressed, some of them traveled 24 hours to get there. Some traveled 30 hours.
So the dedication is there?
Dedication, commitment is there. It's the knowledge. It's the knowledge of the game and the ecosystem and the structure, but the talent is here. So if I was going to say, I would say intervention would be grassroots coach, help them. The more grassroots coaches, the more teams you're going to have. We need to work in schools. Physical education is very, very important to build those fundamentals. And I have been to schools a couple of days, and I've seen there's not much PE happening, physical education. So part of Muslim Hands and Project Maidaan is right to dream, right to identity, right to education, right to play. They're going to have right to sports, right to play sports. Now, we've got to encourage more sports, but they're going to start in schools. Obviously, we're still trying to break the stereotype the perception is still, we're still into cricket
Yeah,
or
obviously,
hockey.
I think the most tough part of the job is changing the culture,
Cul-
which is cricket dominated.
Yeah, culture and the mindset. So one of the things I do on Talent Tide is called widening the net. Okay, and I try to say that we love football. We got passion for football. So back in UK, we don't have a problem with participation. We are the most participation South Asians playing football. It's getting the elite side of the game. No problem with the participation, but playing quality competition, quality of coaching, and understanding the pathways into the professional game. And obviously we need to upskill not just coaches, we need to upskill scouts as well. So they can be your eyes on the ground to look for talent.
So the whole link is established as well. But this obviously has been a big insight for you as well on what is happening and what needs to be done. How do we connect this to your next part now? Because obviously we've been told you're traveling back, but if there is, you know, another chance that you're coming, what's the next phase of this project?
Yeah, I think the next phase for me is going to be reflect what's happened in the last 10 days. I have met a lot of important people with Muslim Hands and Project Maidaan, and some inspiring people. And, you know, you, like I said earlier, you're producing 70% of football's forward sports. So why don't you give the football to our community here and try to build a foundation and try to break the stereotypes. You know, we still have got this mindset, fixed mindset, that we're into cricket, and I don't think so. The national sport is football. It's about 4 billion people watching football. So I think from what I've seen here, I think the next thing would be to reflect what my journey was, who I met, where I think there's a gap, and hopefully, you know, the major stakeholders in the country, they can support, and we can try to come up with a development plan, youth development plan, to help players, coaches, scouts, and then we build the ecosystem. But I think we will need investment. Without investment, we can't really put that into. So I
you
think
have to talk numbers.
Yeah, we have to make sure that it's not like you start an initiative and it stops, because that's like circus comes, circus goes. So we have to make sure there's an investment. It's a long-term investment, and I think the major stakeholders in the country, I think they're going to be very, very supportive, because from what I've seen, apart from Muslim Hands and Project Maidaan, I haven't seen anyone do anything. I haven't seen anything that said there's an opportunity. And we do need visible role models for the next generation to be inspired to be a player, a coach, or a scout.
Well, absolutely, Rash. I think thank you very much for joining us. And I'm sure that on behalf of the football community in Pakistan, we'd like to thank you. And, you know, we'd just like to say a big thank you. Thank you very much for supporting this initiative.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on the show, and we'd love to have you once again.
Yeah, inshallah, I'll try to make comeback again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're a superstar already.
No, thank you.
Well, you heard it from the man himself as well, and I think it's just been a spectacular occasion for so many young boys and girls who have been fans of football as well.